Hello, good morning. So yeah, we got started in Darkmoor. We did the early entry from Helios, but unfortunately, as soon as we made our way to try to get the Minecart Madness done, it was delayed opening until 10. Who knows, we're gonna keep an eye on it. Darkmoor, let's talk about Darkmoor real quick. Like that reveal with the castle and everything, beautiful. Then we went straight to Wolfman. That was an alright coaster. Ours kind of stayed backwards the whole time for some reason. Otherwise, like, I wish we had spun more, but otherwise it was really solid. Solid little fun coaster I don't hear too much about, honestly. And then Monsters Unchained. Holy moly. That thing is just a buffet of beautifully done animatronics. And I think that, like, it's such a step up from Forbidden Journey in terms of using that ride system. It uses the same ride system, right? And using that for storytelling and also how it integrates the screens. I was worried it was going to be how Forbidden Journey has a lot of screens, and they're looking kind of dated now. But these, like, it kind of really flowed seamlessly. Especially there was one section with Wolfman where you were following him across on the screens, and then the animatronic would pop out, and it really didn't take you out of it to see that sort of like link between animatronic to animatronic happening between the screens. It was overwhelming though, and definitely want to go on it again. So the wait for Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry is 240 minutes. So instead, we're gonna wait the 15 minutes left until entry starts, park opening basically, for Burke. Oh boy, I can see the sun is already getting to me, but hello. So we just did, what was it called? Hiccups? Wing gliders, not Dragon Race Rally. Like the coaster and the flat ride have names that really got me confused on which one should be which, because one you're actually gliding on, but you're also, and this one feels like you're racing, but either way, it was a really solid coaster. It surprised me. It's more intense than Curse of the Werewolf for sure. And I've heard comparisons about this versus Slinky Dog. I think, yes, it's kind of there, but this is more of a lateral heavy, and it has some forces to it, so it's more intense than something like Slinky Dog, which is mostly just bounding. I think it goes at most 40 miles per hour. This might be slightly faster. There was some cool, like when we were coming around a corner, there was this cool moment where Stardust was also going by, so there was that cool interactivity there. And then there was like almost like a proper helix, and it was throwing some really cool laterals. I was surprised. Then a cool show moment, and then you're done. Honestly, sitting in the back didn't offer any airtime. This is more of a lateral heavy experience. And yeah, big thumbs up for me. So far, favorite in the park. But the land itself, gorgeous, amazing. I feel like a lot of the energy went into this one. So far of the lands that I've seen. I've already seen like Super Nintendo World at Hollywood Studios, and that one is what it is. It feels a little claustrophobic and stuff, and it has the addition of Donkey Kong Country, which we only went to briefly until they told us that Minecart Madness was delayed, which it still is delayed from what I saw last on the app. So we're taking a quick break here, seeing some of the animatronics, and then also we took a look at the meet and greet, and that's definitely at an hour or more, and it's right in the sun. We need a break from the sun. So instead, we got the mac and cheese cone, which I've heard so many people talk about. And here it is. It has this cool hook fang graphic on it. I haven't tried it yet. Jamie has, though. Thoughts?
It's very good.
Thank you, Jamie. All right, so I just had a couple bites. It's pulled pork mac and cheese and some really nicely seasoned bread. I wish there was a way to like crisp the rim or something like that of the bread, but otherwise, it's solid. For theme park mac and cheese, it can be so hit or miss. This actually hits. Do you have any more thoughts since I interrupted you mid-chew on your review?
It is very good. I will say that I'm thankful it's not bland, because I feel like a lot of park mac and cheese tends to be a little on the flavorless side, but this is very good. And the bread is actually very good. A lot of people compare this to the one at DCA, and the one at DCA in California is it's a pretzel bread. It doesn't have any of this. This is better.
Hot take, better than the cozy cone. Been a second since our last update. We did get on Minecart Madness. It was delayed for a little while, and then for like 20-30 minutes it was running perfectly, and then it went down again. But we were able to sneak in there, and honestly it was a really fun ride, especially if you know the games like Donkey Kong Country and stuff. It was solid. It was a lot of fun. A very unique ride system that I haven't seen anywhere else before. Peppered throughout, there were some animatronics. It was a lot of fun. But I don't know how much I would wait for it, like maybe 30-45 minutes at most to do that again, because as unique as the ride experience was, the there was no thrill factor or anything like that. Rerideability, I don't know, but it was really funny catching the maintenance workers riding it as they were getting it back up. Then we saw that the wait for Monsters Unchained was only like 15 minutes, so we got back on that thing. We had a couple snacks over at Burning Blade Tavern, which that was pretty cool. There were some sort of like monster hunters or something in there, and they were really adding a lot of atmosphere to the place. We had the hunter's steak. It was just basically garlic bread, which I would skip probably next time. But there was some sort of spicy burnt cheese balls with like jalapeno and pimento. Really good. Surprised the heck out of me. And then we ran into Igor for a little bit and had a fun interaction there. But right now we are preparing for what we've been calling like the final boss of the day, which is trying to ride Ministry. So Battle at the Ministry, we're about to get in there. I think the line right now is at 150-minute wait. We're just gonna try to do our best. I do have the attractions assistance pass, but I don't know how much that actually will bring down the wait. I got a return time for it somewhere in the mix there in the afternoon, but now it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'll give you some updates about how it goes. I don't know, but this one is definitely the ride everybody's been trying to do and struggling, and I don't know if that's more of a capacity thing or what, but here goes nothing. One thing I forgot to mention that was kind of annoying was when we were in the pre-show to Monsters Unchained, there was somebody already reciting the whole pre-show, all of Igor's lines, as if it were Haunted Mansion or something. What is that about? Please don't do that. Please don't ruin other people's experiences by trying to yell over pre-recorded stuff. Oh my gosh. So we didn't get an effect there in the flu, but this is amazing. Whatever that is, looks awesome. I love the design. Oh, more paintings. I thought the Forbidden Journey queue was insane. This is far more insane. They spared no expense. It just keeps going. I'm at a loss for words. We finally stopped here. What's that? Yeah.
This is the craziest queue I've ever seen.
I don't think I've seen a queue that's like this big and elaborate since maybe Flight of Passage or Rise of the Resistance. I can't think of anything else. So that last room was the merge point for Express and for my attractions assistance pass friends. And now up these stairs and on to who knows where. Oh, I don't know what happens next, but single rider is to the right. And we're just waiting to be sorted here or grouped, I guess. Oh yeah, there's the ride vehicle right there. Okay, we survived the queue, the battle of the queue of the Battle at the Ministry. That was kind of uneven in my opinion, just because like the queue was super impressive, the ride system was really cool, but some of the scenes and stuff, like I know that was fake Harry, Hermione, and Ron. They were not real. That was all CG, and it kind of took me out of it a little bit. And then I think the ride broke down for like 2 scenes right at the end. So, and they didn't offer to like let us go around again. So I don't know. We're gonna just leave it at that because it was very okay. It was a fun mix of effects and stuff, but there wasn't quite as much physical stuff as I expected. And sorry, I'm trying to locate where I need to go for Stardust Racers right now to get a return time. But at the end of the day, it's a really cool, unique experience. Some of the biggest screens I have ever seen, but the debate that's been going on since I've been following the opening of this park has been whether or not which one is superior here. Is it Monsters or is it Ministry? I give it to Monsters just because that thing is just a buffet of animatronics. It's beautiful, beautifully done in my opinion, and the integration of the screens is pretty seamless, whereas here it relies a lot on that. But shout out to the actress that is playing Dolores Umbridge, because she was clearly having fun chewing scenery and just hamming it up. That was amazing, and just being back in that world is super cool. So is it worth a 3-hour wait? I don't know. I can't answer that for everybody. In my opinion, I probably would say maybe hour and a half at most, maybe. 90-minute wait sounds safe. Anything more than that, you risk having bias built in and having expectations a little high, I think. Because there's people waiting 3, 4, 5 hours even. I've seen y'all on the subreddit. Shout out to y'all for all the advice, by the way, on both of them, the Epic one and the Universal Orlando one. Yeah, y'all been going through it to get on this ride. I feel very fortunate that I was able to see 90% of it, honestly. It seems like I missed like the second to last scene, basically, where it all goes haywire with the time turner, but oh well. So we ended up watching the Cirque au Canoe. It is not a cirque. I don't know why I didn't hear anybody say this, but it's a good, nice, and whimsical show, but it is not a cirque show. If you're expecting like a couple of fun circus acts, no, there's a storyline and stuff. Anyway, we got to see that, and then my return time came up for Stardust Racers. However, those plans quickly changed because it started raining. We just got hit with a bunch of thunder too. And then quickly it started downpouring and weather delays popped up. And if you know anything about this park, weather delays affect like 80% of the rides here. And 2 hours later, we are still waiting. So we've been here at Pizza Moon, which is a gorgeous place. Like, I love this Journey to the Moon type of vibes that they have here, like this fun 2D cutout thing, and the aesthetic of like these celestial gods, but they're all related to pizza ingredients and toppings and stuff. It's magnificent. However, the pizza that we got was the mushroom pizza, and it was only like half cooked. Now, mind you, I'm from New Jersey. I live in the pizza belt. I've had delicious pizza all my life, so I'm very discerning when it comes to pizza. This one, it seems like if it had been like properly cooked, it could have been amazing. However, because of the amount of pizza they probably have to churn out here hour to hour, it's hard to be consistent with the bakes. So you had like black burnt spots and then kind of like half raw spots where like the whole bottom was really cooked and then the top was still doughy and chewy. It kind of stunk to have to experience that, but all in all, I see the potential in it, but it is hyped up a lot. So, you know, just be wary because there is inconsistency in the pizza. I did also get a salad. That was pretty good. And there's a dessert here that I really want to get at some point. It's the Eclipse Brownie. I am loving the music in here. But yeah, we had to pivot because weather delays, stuff finally came up. But timing-wise, we would not have time to do both Stardust Racers and Yoshi while we're here. And Stardust Racers is open a little bit later because it is part of Celestial Park. So we are here trying to do at least one more ride than we were actually planning on doing. Sadly, because of all the weather delays, the Unbreakable Dragon was completely full for the last performance at 7:15. Sorry, Caitlin, if you're watching. But hopefully we'll be able to see that on our next visit. Right, my friends, it's over. So the rain delays, they did clear up, but only with an hour left in daily operations. So 9 p.m., just come around here. So from 8 to 9, the rides did operate, and we did manage to get on Yoshi's, which was a really cute kind of one and done with some cute views and like pressing the eggs or whatever. It was adorable. I kind of liked it. I don't know. Is it one and done for you?
Yeah,
Yoshi's, yeah.
Not cute enough.
Not cute enough, but the sun was setting and like the post-thunderstorm skies were actually pretty nice. But anyway, because we did that like around 8 and it was only a 10-minute wait, and we saw there was a 10-minute wait for Monsters, we did Monsters a third time, did not get Dracula on the boom, but we did sit like on the left side of the ride vehicle instead of the right where we had sat the last 2 times. And I kind of feel like, and I don't know if I'm going crazy, but being on the right side offered like better timing, syncing up with everything that was going on. and you noted it, and I was thinking it, right? So like the right side.
It just felt different. Everything, you see it too soon, in my opinion, on the left side.
So yeah, a lot of things synced up differently. Sorry, my arm's getting tired. And then we finally got to use my return time for Stardust Racers, which was such a wonderful day, a wonderful way to end today. Because that night ride, I don't know why I haven't heard enough people in my Instagram stories talk up the night ride when it's dueling. Because after that second launch, the inversion and all the elements with this glowing train next to you, that was the hypest thing that I have experienced here at Universal, honestly. Like, I thought the Velocicoaster, like, blue, glowy, no, this is the most superior night ride I have ever experienced, ever. Is it better overall than Velocicoaster, which is, I'm mentioning it because it's like the great debate right now. Is it? I don't really know. That is hard to say if you take it as like a singular ride, because everything after that first launch until the second launch, I don't know. It was like pops of air, ejector. I really wish there had been maybe another inversion somewhere early on, even if it was like just a little inline corkscrew or something, because there was some pops of air that weren't really adding much to the experience, in my opinion. Anyway, I throw it to you.
I loved it. I had the best time. I think ending the night there was like the best possible scenario. I don't know, it made me really appreciate this park even more. But I will say, I think I do prefer Velocicoaster, just for the variety of things that happen on that ride. But the dueling is amazing. The dueling is top tier. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no experience that I know of that compares to this in terms of a dueling coaster, in terms of a night ride. But a lot of the elements are things that kind of like felt repetitious a little bit. Does that make sense?
It was a lot of up and down.
Yeah. So it's not like the thrills were maybe at like a 7, 7.5, but the cool factor was definitely a 10.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for following me. I know I had to do this differently because we were rushing around. I was grabbing B-roll, but there was so much to do that I could not vlog it like every little thing. But all said and done, out of all the attractions here, the only things we were unable to do were the carousel, because that ballooned right after 9 o'clock when the park closed, and there was no way we could do both Stardust and this. They were both at like, I think, 45 minutes waits. Then, what was the other one? Fire Drill, which was closed all day, which we weren't really planning on doing anyway. And Mario Kart, which we have done at Super Nintendo World over in Universal Hollywood, so we weren't planning on doing that anyway. And then, last but not least, Untamable Dragon, which was completely full when we were doing the rain delays stuff. So, not too shabby, honestly.
Pretty much did everything.
Everything we set out to do, honestly. So, and Monsters Unchained, to me, is the best ride in the park. Like, there's no competition. As fun as Ministry was, I think it had a lot of gaps in it to make it a fully complete experience. It is great for what it is, but anyway, I think I've gone on far too long. It's been 4 minutes. So, all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and I hope you go make your own adventure. Bye.